Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose XB. I'll bring you another Batman Arkham Knight video, and today we're going to be talking about is some of the new details that we got in the latest issue of Edge magazine for Batman Arkham Knight. Now, there's a lot to cover here, however, I'm just going to skim through some of the stuff that we were given here. I didn't get the magazine myself, so thank you to DuFaze19089 for posting this stuff on the Arkhamverse forums. If you're watching this, man, thank you very much. But let's skim through some of the stuff that he has been talking about here. One being that Rocksteady has implied, or has told us basically, that the Batmobile is much more than something you drive around and you shoot things with. There's a lot more depth to it than you can originally see, and I've been saying this already, so thank you to Rocksteady for reassuring that to me. Rocksteady has also commented about all the theories about the Arkham Knight, and they said that they are emphatic that he's not an existing DC player, but a villain of its own creation. I will not believe that till the day I am proven wrong. That I think that the Arkham Knight is somebody that we know of. That's just what I'm gonna believe until I'm officially proven wrong through the game. You know, that's just what I'm gonna believe. Moving on here, they just talked about some of the control scheme, like how L2 transforms your Batmobile from pursuit mode to battle mode, and R2 fires the guns in the Batmobile, and if you're in pursuit mode, R2 is what boosts the Batmobile. There's going to be combo meters within the Batmobile's battle mode, so that is really awesome that they're integrating that. I really like that. It's going to make it feel more like it's a Batman game still, and it's not just some extension to a Batman game, so I really like that. What I'm reading here and what I can understand is that there's a new enemy type for the Batmobile that fires 3 rounds at once in a forked pattern that can only be damaged with weak spot strikes from the cooldown managed grenade launcher. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that is an enemy that Batman faces or that you go up against with the Batmobile. It seems like it is an enemy that the Batmobile would go up against, and if that be true, then that is really exciting, and I'm happy to hear that there are different enemy types that the Batmobile goes up against, so that you're not fighting the same old tanks every single time. I really like that. It's really cool. They also mentioned that there are going to be certain spots in the city where Arkham Knight's militia are set up there. So when you go into those spots in the city, you have to be very careful. But if you clear out those enemies and you take out all the people in that vicinity, then it's just going to be a little easier to walk through those areas the next time you come around. This is really cool because it's going to make the city feel more alive. It's going to make this threat feel real within the game. So I like that. I like that they're gonna integrate that within the game so that you can't just go gliding around wherever you want, whenever you want. You got to be cautious where you're going, and you got to be paying attention to where you're going. So I like that a lot. That is really cool. Another thing that they mentioned is that the Batmobile will take place of what was originally the button to turn on detective mode. Now, detective mode can still be turned on through the D-pad. However, to call the Batmobile wherever you are, you have to hit LB or L1 for PlayStation users, and that will call the Batmobile from wherever you are, whether you're gliding, whether you're running around, wherever you may be. If you press LB or L1, then you're going to call in the Batmobile. To turn on detective mode, though, you have to only be on foot. You cannot do so while you're gliding, from what I can tell here in this article. And that's very interesting. I don't find that game-breaking, but, you know, it was still pretty useful sometimes to turn on detective mode while you were gliding. So maybe they'll do some updates when it gets closer to the game's release to where you can turn on detective mode still while gliding. But who knows? Who knows? Even then, it just, again, it doesn't sound game-breaking. It's not sounding like it's something that's really going to affect us superbly, you know? I think that's the wrong word to use. I don't think it's going to affect us in a very negative way. Moving on here, they're talking about how there are going to be some easier ways to use gadgets. For example, the explosive gel is going to be context sensitive when Batman is standing in front of a destructible surface. So it seems like the explosive gel is going to be something that Batman does on his own. However, I hope that there's going to be some form of forced way to still perform these actions so that you're not just running around and Batman just starts putting explosive gel everywhere, you know? I want there to be like, oh, if I wanted to put it on a wall, I walk right up to that wall, and then he puts it on. If I wanted to put it on a surface that I'm standing on top of, I'd have to crouch, and then he puts that explosive gel on that surface. That way it just makes it a little more smooth, and it doesn't seem so forced within the gameplay. Another little tidbit about Rocksteady themselves is that they shoot their own motion capture 3 to 4 times a week. They don't hire actors to do so. The team knows exactly what it wants, and if it needs a specific action, it's quicker to do it than just explain it. I like this because it's really cool. Like, if you want something done, just do it yourself, because they know what they want, so they will do what they want instead of explaining what they want to somebody and having them possibly do it wrong. So that's really cool. Just a little tidbit about Rocksteady themselves. They also gave us information about the combat itself, in that it's tweaked and that enemies will have more animations in their fighting styles, and it's not just going to be the same shared animations from Asylum and City. Some enemies charge at you and must be taken down with a quick Batarang throw, something that has long been optional in Arkham's combat, but is now frequently essential. I really like this because it's going to make the combat much more immersive, and you're going to be much more involved with the combat instead of just hitting square or X or triangle or Y to just punch and counter and take down group after group of enemy with ease. This is really cool. Just going to make it a lot more immersive, and you're going to be much more aware of your surroundings when you're fighting a group of enemies. That's really cool. A tightly executed counter will push your opponent back, knocking down any enemies behind him, something that in the previous games could have meant the end of your combo, since a downed enemy could not be struck except with a knockout blow. Now you can land a lightly damaging hit on enemies while they're down, or pick them up for another pummeling, ensuring Batman's flow remains unbroken. This is just awesome to hear. It's just a nice little added addition to the Arkham games, and I'm really glad to hear that it's been added to the Arkham games. You will have a window after a move where you get a chance to counter, no matter what you were doing. This will slow down the animation a little bit. This new feature here seems like it's going to be so small that we kind of won't even notice it unless we're really paying attention, so I wouldn't have to worry too much about it, really. He goes on to explain that silent takedowns recharge fear takedowns, and fear takedowns will alert enemies of your presence, so fear takedowns aren't silent. This is really good. It's balanced. It means that you can't just use the fear takedowns whenever you want. And again, something else that they have done very well with this game is just balancing everything so that it's not OP. It's not like you can just beat everyone with ease. No, there's still skill involved, and I like that a lot. My favorite little bit of information of this whole plethora of information that we got is that the audio has been recoded to enhance the game thanks to next-gen consoles. Music will be surround, whereas Arkham City only featured stereo. I love this. Don't even need to go in detail about why. I just friggin' love it. Last but not least, Sefton Hill is mum on details on the game. He does not wish to give any spoilers, but he did mention that Commissioner Gordon would have a bigger role. Don't expect a bunch of story-related content in the trailers. This is fine. They want us to have a completely new experience when we go into Batman Arkham Knight, and that is totally fair and good for the consumer and good for the people that are going to buy this game, because we won't have the entire thing spoiled in the trailers. I love this. I love it. Don't even care. I just love it. So with all that information said, what do you guys think of this whole batch of information that was given in Edge Magazine? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm CaboosXBL. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and like me on Facebook. Those links are also in the description. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.